Hello, Spaces Unleashed. My name is Jason Zakowski, aka Dad Guy.
And I am Chris Zakowski, aka Mummy Fave.
Every week we give you the lowdown about what's happening with Bunsen and Beaker. We answer your questions, but most importantly, we want to hear your stories about your pets. So, here we go. Hold on to your tail. It's Spaces Unleashed. A quick shout out to our sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com. Barkandbeyondsupply.com is a small family-owned business that went to work and created the best product line of joint supplements for dogs that are safe and effective and only manufactured here in the United States. Well, they're in the United States. They're proud of their small but humble beginnings, and they're excited that they have expanded their product line to include toys, shampoos, treats, and a whole lot more. So, Chris, do you want to talk about the big news? Whoa, you got a barking dog. Are you okay to talk?
Yep.
Okay. So it was mission bring Ginger home this week, right?
Yesterday, well, I wanted Adam to be home so he could enjoy Ginger coming. And of course he works this weekend, and today he had band camp with Royals. So I said, how about Friday night? And I said, I'll pick you up right after school. And then that will give us the most time to have Ginger at home. So he's like, yes, this is great. And I went to his school and I texted him and I said, I'm outside. And I waited 20 minutes. He had me on ignore for 20 minutes. He will tell you that his Wi-Fi at the school is terrible every time that this happens. And I said, okay, your Wi-Fi there is terrible. But then I called him and he's like, oh, Mom, I'm sorry, my message didn't send. What? And then he said, can Annalise come? I said, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to ask if Annalise could come. I said, but we need to go to Costco to get cat litter because we have no cat litter. So we're not really prepped for this cat in that way. Now we are borrowing a litter box from my stepdad because what if this doesn't work out? Then I don't want to buy a litter box. So we had the litter box. We just didn't have litter. Then Adam's like, yep, let's go to Costco. I said, well, if you have Annalise, like she's going to need permission to be like taken all over town to get the cat litter and then get back home. Anyway, so then she had permission. So we went and got cat litter and then we came home and then we got it all set up. And then Adam went over and got Ginger and brought her home. And the dogs were very excited. They're like, who is this? Who is this? Who is this?
Yep.
And Bunsen was very stressed, kind of like he is right now. I don't know what's wrong with you. So like this panting that you're hearing, that was Bunsen last night. Not the yelping, but the panting.
I think it's because he couldn't. I think it's because he couldn't see the cat. He knew the cat was somewhere in the house, but he couldn't see it
because she was downstairs.
Yeah.
So pause 2, 3. Everything was going okay. There was, who's this cat? Who's this cat? Let's bark at the cat. And then everybody went to bed, except for Jason. He stayed up late and played his game.
Which I do on Fridays. That's true.
Yes. If you've heard of Elden Ring, that's the game. It takes so many minutes of your life. Bunsen. Anyway, so then what happened? So this morning I got up and I got up with the dogs early because they were up at 6 o'clock. And so I got up with them, gave them breakfast, and then I went downstairs and I thought Adam was going to close the door with him and Ginger in his room overnight. No, the door was open but she was in his room and she scooted out and I'm like, oh, hi, how are you? And she's like, I'm so good. And then I gave her some breakfast and then she followed me up the stairs. And then the dogs are like, who are you? Who are you? Let me see you. Let me bark at you. Who are you? And so then I took her back downstairs and then she came back right upstairs. She just like a yo-yo up the stairs and then down the stairs, up the stairs. And the dogs were like, who are you? Who are you? Who are you? And Beaker was barking at her a bit. And then I said, okay, so you need to stay downstairs. She didn't. So then I gave the dogs a Kong so they could settle down a little bit. And then all of a sudden Jason came out and he's like, guess who I have? I said, what? Who? And he's like, Ginger. So Ginger went and jumped on the bed because she has allergy dar. It's like radar for allergy people. So she picked out that Jason is allergic right away and now has like glommed onto you. Oh, I have to leave Bunsen because he's super loud. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so I can finish the story while you go. So some days I don't get up first. Most days I get up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm the first one up usually. But Saturday I slept in. Maybe it's because I stayed up late playing my game. But I woke up with a cat on my chest. And I was like, what the heck? They just find you, these cats. The cats can find you. And I am really allergic to cats. But Chris, what I wanted you to talk about was you and Adam have Ginger, the cat, on two separate things.
Yes. So the first thing that we have her on is the Proplan food, Live Vitality or something. It's supposed to be anti-allergen food that binds with the issue in the saliva. With the gene in the saliva, it binds with it. It's an egg protein that binds. And so then it's supposed to minimize those allergens. And then secondly, we have this allergen spray that we spray on a glove and then we rub it on her. And then part of it is grooming, is making sure that she's brushed. So that's what we've been doing, what we've been working on with her. And sorry, Bunsen was really loud. But now hopefully it's better.
No, it's just your new mic. It's just your new mic. I think it picks up more, and it was picking up his panting, which normally we don't get to hear.
No, you don't normally get to hear that heavy breathing. But so then what happened is this morning I took Beaker to doggy daycare, and so that allowed. I thought this will be perfect. This will allow Bunsen the opportunity just to hang out with Ginger on his own, because when both of them were here, they're like, who are you? Who are you? And they were both checking her out. And I think it was overwhelming. So with Beaker gone, that allowed Bunsen to just go, okay. And he followed her around like a lost puppy. He
was infatuated with her. He just wanted to look at her and follow her around and get to as close to her as he could. But yes. she hisses and then bats sometimes. So he just wanted to I think he wanted to touch, just smell her and just be around her. When she would turn around, he would lick her too. So that was weird.
Yep. And that's amazing, but that's them bonding. And so Beaker wasn't here for that. And so then I took Bunsen to Wagon play. And he had a great time there. He won a prize. Well, he won a contest, but there wasn't really a contest, but
what was the contest?
Well, I'll tell it. That was my second story for this week. I was going to keep talking about the cat.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yes. So then took him there, brought both of them back. Actually, I brought them both back with Duncan because Duncan helps me with the turtles, with the water. And so then Beaker was calmer. Bunsen already had spent a lot of time with Ginger, and it's been pretty much calm ever since. Mm-hmm. The Beaker's been just looking at her, and Bunsen just looks at her, and she's still kind of, if they get too close, she's like a little bit, but it's much, much better, and she's way calmer. And my favorite part is, if you don't know this about Jason, he loves cats, really. A little piece of his heart is there for cats, and especially if he can hold them like a baby. And he picked up Ginger and he held her like a baby, and he's like, Chris, I can hold Ginger like a baby, which is upside down, and then he pets their tummies, which I'm not sure if Ginger is on board with you petting her tummy. I'm not sure or not, but she's pretty chill. So so far so good with the allergies. Like you said, if you touch your eye, then it's bad news, or if you get scratched, that would be bad news. But I don't know. This is turning out. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, because I'd have my nose would be plugged and my eyes would be on fire. And right now it's good. As long as I wash my hands after I touch the cat, And I did get scratched by her, and that puffed up like a balloon. But so
It
far.
wasn't as bad. It wasn't as bad when Poco got you, and I just wiped you down with hydrogen peroxide and said you're fine.
So if you're just joining us, it's Pet Chat. You might notice I have a tongue-in-cheek title, NFTs. That's noses, feets, and teeths. Just because so it's kind of funny. There's a lot of Twitter spaces about NFTs, and I thought if you can't beat them, join them. But this is Pet Chat, so if you were like wondering when are they going to get talking about NFTs, we're not. We're talking about pets. Our sponsor, BarkandBeyondSupply.com. I put a tweet from them up in the nest, and they're doing a giveaway. So their giveaway is for a Tuffy hot dog. To enter, you have to follow them, and they're actually in the chat, barkandbeyondsupply.com. And you have to like them and then retweet the Tuffy hot dog giveaway. Everybody has a chance to win. And if you donate to help homeless pets, they have a link there to help donate for homeless pets. You get 5 extra entries. And so you might win a Tuffy hot dog. That's their thing that they've got going on right now. And near the end of the space, we'll have a draw. Chris is putting names into a wheel. And if you're still here, you will get a prize from barkandbeyondsupply.com. So I guess my story for this week is the melting snow and the continued adventures in mud outside with the dogs. The creek has melted, so I've had to switch from winter boots to rubber boots, and I can now cross the creek because it's got a really flat area where it's super deep, like it'd be up to my knees, so I have to jump it. I might have to knock down some trees to make a bridge. But Bunsen doesn't like to get his feet wet, but he does like going to the other side of the creek because for reasons unknown, there's the snow is better on that side. I don't know. So he does brave jumping the creek, and he sometimes gets a bit wet. Beaker is basically fords the creek. I don't know if anybody's listening has played the old video game, The Oregon Trail. Can you guys give me an emoji if you've played The Oregon Trail? It's this amazing old computer game that I loved. I played it in... Okay, nobody's played the Oregon Trail. Chris, you've played the Oregon Trail. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I was just finding Ginger. She's downstairs on Adam's bed.
Oh, okay.
And he was sleeping. And I was trying to take a picture of it. And then he woke up because, like, you're talking in your mic.
Right.
And then that happened.
Okay,
you died of dysentery.
All right. Okay, so I don't know if anybody has played Oregon Trail. But anyways, you bring your family... it was confusing for me as a Canadian because I didn't really get what was going on in that game, but it was basically the settlers moved west. That you had to keep your settlers alive, and you were in your wagon. And when you got to a river, you had a bunch of choices. You could float it across, or you could just straight up drive straight through the river, called fording it. And that was always really risky because if the water was too deep, you would just like drown all your oxens and your people. Dawn is like, yes, that's the one you could die of dysentery. So Beaker just fords the river regardless of the depth. And sometimes she's had to swim in places. So it just reminds me of that choice. Do you want to ford the river? Do you want to float across? And Beaker's like, nah, I'm fording the river every single time. And I think we will be finding another couple legs soon. There are giant patches of snow that are rapidly melting. And Beaker found a frozen leg deep under the snow on our last creek walk that eventually will work its way to the surface. And I'm just dreading that point because eventually one of them is going to get it. And that's a whole thing. So that's my story for this week. Chris is going to finish with her story, and then we're going to open up the floor to people to come up and ask us questions or share their own pet story, which is the heart of this community. Go ahead, Chris.
100%. So I was just going to talk a little bit about Waggles today when I took Bunsen to play for his hour-long play. It's really funny. They wanted to get a picture of the dogs on the cinder blocks that they have there. And Waggles, like their signature color is purple. So these cinder blocks are painted purple. And the idea was that the dogs were going to do paws up and then get their picture as they were there. It kind of looked like a cheering squad pyramid, but not really. I guess more like a bowling ball, like the pins, like you have 1 and then 2 in the next row and 3 in the next row and 4 in the next row. So the idea is that they were going to put the dogs doing paws up and get a nice picture. So I heard that this was happening. Bunsen and I go right over, and it's the teacher and me. It's the teacher and me where someone says, hey, let's do this. And I'm like, okay, everybody, let's go. We're going over here.
Wait. I think it is the competition in you because you're super competitive.
Yes. So yes, we're going to have a little contest. The dogs are going to do paws up on the cinder blocks. My ears perked up. Mm-hmm. Contest. Competition.
Yeah, because you don't want to be around Chris when we're playing Pictionary. It is like cutthroat. It's supposed to be a fun game, and Chris turns into this like other person. Actually, you want her on your team, but man, there's some smack talk that happens in Pictionary if Chris wins.
It's very bad. I actually have to not do it anymore because I'm embarrassed after. I'm like, it's like a devil takes over my personality, and it's something to behold. It's something to behold because I can't help it. I think in my brain, I'm not going to be this way. I'm not going to be this way. And then, nope.
My favorite is when you win, you go, woo, like you scream and then you point at the other team.
Yeah, that happens. Anyway, so then it's like, the dogs are going to do paws up. So I'm right there. And I'm like, Bunsen, paws up. And he is there like a champ. He's like, oh, yeah, Kool-Aid man, paws up. That's what I'm going to do. And so he was standing there the whole time. And all these other dogs and their owners are coming over. And like the other dogs aren't doing paws up. Like they're not. Some of them are like backwards. Some of them are. One guy who was like really trying and his dog wasn't doing it. I'm like, oh, poor Arthur. And then another burner and a Leonberger were not doing it. But Bunsen
Dante couldn't do paws up.
Well, I think he could, but like they weren't doing it. Like I don't know. Bunsen is oblivious to other people. He's like, I'm doing paws up
He's so good.
I can do paws up all day. This is what I love to do. I'm going to do it. And so yeah, he stood on the cinder block, and I was standing beside him waiting for the picture. And I think they got like 4 dogs out of 10 doing the paws up. 5. They had 5 out of 10 doing, so 50% doing the paws up. So that's what happened. But also at Wagon Play, Natasha, the newfie, was back.
Oh, Bunsen's girlfriend.
Yeah, he was like, oh, look who's here, Natasha the newfie, and her brother Boris, the Caucasian Shepherd. Boris was out of sorts today. He was not feeling it, not feeling like he wanted to be friendly. So the owners were trying to walk Natasha and Boris away. So.
But and Boris is huge. Boris, this shepherd, this Caucasian. What is it again? Caucasian Shepherd. He's got to be like 2 or 3 times bigger than Bunsen, like
100%. So and then
close to 200
Dante
pounds.
was there. Yeah. Dante, the huge burner, was there, and
and the Leonberger.
Yeah, but I had his name in my brain, and now it left my brain. That's not Marshall.
I have never seen a dog bigger than Boris. Like he's got to be close to 200 pounds. This dog. He looks like he's bigger than a wolf. Like it's just outrageous.
But it was Big Dog Day. It was Big Dog Day today. Yeah.
Yeah. Bunsen was not the big dog. He was the little dog compared to those ones.
Yeah. But he's always so cute.
Okay, so if you're just joining us, Pet Chat works this way. We play a game, which we did, and then we break down the stories of the week from Bunsen and Beaker. And then we open up the floor to our audience to come up and share their stories. Or if you have questions, you can go ahead and ask. I'm going to put one more tweet into the nest from our sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com. If you check that tweet, it's shop tweet treats for your bestie. Check the treat jar. Is it time for a refill? If you buy 3 treats or chews, you get 1 free. And they've got an extra code that you put in there, TREAT, in full caps. And there's a link to get your dog some treats. All right. So if you'd like to share a story about your dog or ask us some questions, go ahead and request the mic. Now, a couple caveats or a couple rules. We like the questions. Like, of course, if the story takes its way and it's an amazing discussion, that's great. But keep your questions on to pets or Bunsen and Beaker. Keep your language clean. as much as possible, please. It's a wholesome space. And if we don't recognize your account, you may not get up to the space. We want to keep this a safe space, and that helps eliminate trolls who might come up and want to wreak havoc. Okay, Chris, are you bringing people up, or do you want me to?
Right now I'm typing the names.
Okay, so I'll bring them up. So we got we have Snickerdoodle, and then we have Shona, and then we have Baden, Rich, and then we've got CJ Pixie Poodle. So go ahead, Snickerdoodle.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there's my dog. Yeah, I've got two little stories. One was when we got him, he was, as soon as I talk on the phone, the where we live is built around the lake, and the dog park is a sectioned off park of the public beach. And we took him down there when he was 2.5 months old, just to take him down, see if he could swim. And he's a natural born swimmer.
Yeah.
He's in my Abbey right now. He's part lab, part border collie. So he was instantly in the water. So he's been he's going to be 12 years old next week. So he's been down there for 12 years. It's his beach as far as he's concerned. Anyway, yeah, we had him out there. And about, I'd say maybe 3/4 of a mile down the beach is a wharf, a boat launch. And we had him down there one day, and he was paddling around, and then he started to swim down towards the boat launch direction. And my husband was watching him, and he said, I better follow him just in case. Anyway, the dog, he's a slow and steady swimmer all the way down to the boat launch. Meanwhile, my husband starts running down the beach. He's now in the public park part of the beach, and people are getting kind of a kick out of this guy chasing this puppy. And so the dog gets down to the boat launch, paddled around for a minute or two, turned around and started swimming back again. And so my husband turns around and he's following him down. And then a couple of ducks landed on the lake.
Oh, no.
And yeah, so the dog automatically, he doesn't really chase birds, but he was curious. He goes swimming out to these ducks, and my husband's all of a sudden, no, because they'll lead him out. They'll lead him out into the deep water, until he's exhausted, then he drowns.
Yeah, that's not good.
No. So my husband, he's swimming down out towards the puppy now.
Oh no.
He almost gets to Shiloh. That's my dog's name. And Shiloh just turns and starts paddling back down to the dog park again. So my husband's out chasing him down the beach. And he got back to the dog park, came up on the beach, shook himself right back into the water. And my husband said, we don't have to worry about him. He's good. He's a good, strong swimmer, and he can do whatever he wants. He says, now I feel like a fool. And half the beach is laughing at him. So that's my first story. But he was just automatically took to swimming. We didn't have to teach him. He just went in and started to swim.
Yep. That's like Beaker. She just can swim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I didn't know that there's basically two different ways a dog can swim. One is with all four legs, and one is if they're doing the dog paddle with just their front legs.
Yeah, like some will kick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then Newfoundlanders they do breaststroke. They do a dog paddle, but they pull out to the side. Like there's I think they're one of the only dog breeds that do that. Like they pull out to the side to go faster and more powerful swimming.
And Shiloh, he does all 4 feet, and so he's slow and steady, but he can go for a long time. Rather than just the dog paddle and use up a lot of energy, but not get anywhere really.
Yeah.
Anyway, the second story, I had him down there. This was several years ago, and he was in the water, and it was time for us to leave. So I'm calling him, and he's not coming. He's just staying in the water, and I'm, come on, let's go. And suddenly, here he is, standing beside my leg. I'm like, what the heck? And I'm looking, you're in the water. It turned out it was it wouldn't be his brother, but it was from the litter after his, from the exact same parents.
Oh my goodness.
And they're identical. You could not tell these two dogs apart.
Oh.
And and the other dog's owner came along, and he's looking at he was calling his dog, and he's looking at my dog and his dog, and the only difference was the color of their collar.
Wow.
And I mean, the odds of seeing them there. So I don't know that I wouldn't make them full brothers. I don't know what it would make them, but they're absolutely identical from these. The father is a black lab, and the mother is a tricolored border collie.
Yeah, they would be brothers if it was the same mom and dad. Yep.
From different litters.
Yeah, they would be. They'd be that. I mean, that would be like a set of twins. Like if Chris and I had twins, and then we had triplets. The one of the triplet and the one of the twins would still be brother or sister.
Oh, okay. All right. Well,
does that make sense? I don't know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I didn't know how that worked with dog litters.
Yeah.
But so I thought, and the other fellow, he was looking at these two dogs, and when they're wet, especially, you couldn't really tell them apart. And he says, "This is incredible that we've never seen each other since."
Yeah.
And we just a fluke meeting there that day. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah. And I can sympathize with Beaker not being crazy about the cat.
Yeah, she's got. We have the video of her getting. Fine. Yeah, we have the video of her getting smacked on Twitter, and then
yes, I've seen that.
It's happened a couple more times since. She's gotten too close.
Well, my neighbor had a cat. We call her the killer cat. And when Shiloh was a puppy, he used to go over there, and the cat would hide under the picnic table. And when Shiloh went by, he got smacked on the nose. And he's looking around because he didn't see where this cat was. All of a sudden, he's getting a smack on the nose. Yeah. So he's not a fan of cats either. But anyway, those are my two stories for today.
I love it. Thanks for sharing.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Shona, you're up.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Hi. So, I'm really glad you guys are getting a cat.
Well, it's Adam's cat, and they both had to work on me quite a bit to get this cat here. So,
well done, family. You've done a great job. So I think I have a couple of just sort of like, I don't know, PSAs, I guess. So I was super allergic to cats in my teens. I grew up with cats and dogs, and then I developed like a really quite devastating allergy and couldn't have cats or dogs through my 20s, which was really like I grew up with cats and dogs, and this was not a good thing. So I went to allergists, and I got medicine, and I got treatment and all this stuff. And then the only cats that I could get were like the sort of hairless cats. So I
like Dr. Evil's cat?
Yes. Yes.
As you can see, Mr. Powers, each shark has a laser beam attached to its forehead. I figure
oh my God.
Every creature deserves a warm meal.
Gotta send you pictures of my laser cats because they were gremlin cats and people made fun of them.
Oh.
However, I had these lovely Devon Rex, like not totally hairless, but they went bald in the summer.
Oh.
It's too much to explain. When it was hot, they lost all their hair. They were very strange. People thought they were weird. They looked like gremlins. I loved them. That's the story.
Did they act like normal cats though? Like they just didn't have hair?
Well, yeah, they mostly did. I mean, it was okay. I got the cats because I was allergic to normal cats. So I got these Devon Rex cats, and they were quasi-hairless. They weren't the full Sphinx cats, but they went bald in the summertime. And then I moved away from Canada, and for a couple of years I lived in Turkey, where let's just say it's warmer than Canada. Let's just say that. And they lost they went bald. It was so hot they lost all their hair. And they were bald cats. They still had some hair, but they were fully bald. They looked very strange. It's a very long story, but the short story is I got there late because I insisted on arriving with my cats, and they were like, "Who is this crazy cat lady who is coming over here to be a teacher here? Oh my God." And then I arrived and I was like a normal person, and they were like, "Wait, you're the crazy cat lady? You're the cat lady? You're the cat lady." It was very funny. However, they were lovely cats, and they actually cured me of my allergies.
Exposure therapy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is sort of what I was thinking when I was watching you with Ginger, because I mean, my allergies were extremely severe. I grew up with cats, but then I developed these very terrible allergies, which basically made it impossible for me to have normal cats as pets. And so I had these like weird gremlin cats for a couple of years, and they were lovely and they were cute and they were wonderful. They had some interesting quirks and they had some interesting medical problems, but they weren't like not good pets. They were great. And they did not hate the dogs that I would look after. They were like, "We're okay with these dogs. We will tolerate these dogs. We will not try to murder them." And then, like, I mean, I had them for a long time, and eventually they passed away because they were 15, 16, 17. And after that, a couple of my friends were like, "Hey, Shona, you like cats. Would you like to adopt this cat that I can't find a home for?" And I adopted a cat that is a little bit of an avatar to Ginger. She's a tuxedo cat. She's black and white, but she has the same coloring, and she's got those long whiskers and those big eyes, and I look at me, I'm so cute and wonderful kind of face. And she was a rescue cat from a farm, and magically, because of the Devon Rex cat's exposure over a decade, I am no longer allergic to just regular run-of-the-mill cats. So I wanted to tell you this story because I know you're getting this adorable cat and you have allergies. And I had really terrible allergies, like, as in, I would walk into houses where there were cats and have to walk out because I was like,
Yeah, that's what happened
"Dude,
to me.
yeah, no," and it's scary and it's serious and it's not good. But the story is, I grew up with cats, developed terrible allergies, was very sad because I mean, I love cats and dogs. I grew up with cats. I grew up with dogs. I want pets. I couldn't have pets. It was very sad. I had all the allergy stuff, and doctors told me, we don't have medicine for dogs and cats. We can only treat the environmental allergies. And I was like, this sucks. This is terrible. And then I got these Devon Rex cats, and these weird gremlin goobers cured me of the thing that had prevented me from having the pets. And I was very happy. So I think that whatever interventions your family has found in terms of Ginger, I believe these interventions really exist. And it is possible for people like you and me to like weirdly recover from these allergies and then be able to exist in a world where you can have a pet cat, and I one day, like, I've been able to have the pet cats. The cats are okay, and I one day will be able to have a pet dog as well without having allergies, because I got allergic to all these things, even though I grew up with them. And it's not a nice thing for a pet lover to grow up with pets, and because of growing up with pets, develop allergies. Like, it sucks, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And
well,
like,
when I was young, I really like cats. You're right. Like, I love cats. And I think it was just because everybody's muted. Did I click that? I'm sorry.
No, it was me. It was me.
Oh.
It was co-host extraordinaire. I thought there was a request, and it wasn't. I brought
and you muted everybody
Bentley up to speak, and then I hit mute because there was like a delay.
Oh.
I am so sorry.
Well, Shona,
sorry, it was me.
We'll just wrap up your story, Shona, and I'll just say I'm glad that the interventions worked for you, and that you got to have a cat and have a dog someday, maybe. And I'm glad it's working so well for us. Can we go to the next speaker? Is that okay, Shona? Chris muted you by accident. You can give me an emoji or just unmute, and I'm going to assume you're okay. Okay. So CJ Pixie Poodle, and then no, it was Rich. It was next. I forget now. We'll go to CJ Pixie Poodle and then to Baden. Go ahead, CJ Pixie Poodle.
Hi there. My actual name is Courtney, but
hi, Courtney.
I live in wonderful Muskoka, Ontario, which, if you know where it is, means you know someone who has a cottage here or have been to a cottage here, because it's cottage country. It's about 2 hours north of Toronto. But it's kind of like sleepy little small towns and lots of rural space. And I have a dog who, when I got him as a puppy, I was told he was blind. So I called him Matt Murdock, after Daredevil's alter ego.
Oh, I love it.
But he's not blind. He actually has a neurological disorder called cerebellum disease, which makes him just extremely clumsy and run into walls and sometimes prance like he's a dressage horse.
Oh, so it wasn't his eyesight. It was just a balance thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I don't know the vet who first examined him that said he was blind, because his pupils do react to light.
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
It's made him very interesting, because we used to go to doggy daycare and play dates and stuff. And then as he grew up, he stopped liking other dogs. So now he's no longer friendly with other dogs. But as I said, I live in a town called Bracebridge, and I live pretty much downtown. Like, it's a small town, but I live downtown behind the big sushi restaurant and the kind of outdoor plaza there. And we were outside playing in the backyard a few times, and some deer showed up in the backyard. And my dog Murdoch went and got his ball and tried to play fetch with them.
Aww.
Which is very interesting, because he doesn't like, obviously, if he doesn't like other dogs, but then he sees these giant deer and isn't afraid of them, but also not trying to eat them.
Okay.
And then today we were sitting in the living room watching TV, and he goes staring out the window and just kind of like is staring and starts barking. And I look outside the window, and the 3 deer are on my front lawn, like right at the front of my porch, because that's where I had a bird feeder. And they were trying to eat the bird seed out of the bird feeder.
Yeah.
So I went outside and took the rest of the bird seed, and I actually fed them by hand.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So it was like a super fun day. And then the neighbor's dog came out and chased them down the street. But
oh. Well, all good things come to an end. I'm pretty sure that's what would happen with Beaker. If she saw a deer, she'd probably want to chase them.
Yes. Yeah, I'm actually glad that Murdoch's first instinct is, hey, do you want to play fetch? But but sadly, we haven't found any deer legs or anything for Bunsen.
Well, that's good. I would much rather Bunsen play fetch with deer than fetch things off a deer, if you get my drift.
Yes. Luckily, my yard's fenced, so they can't, hopefully they can't get in and he can't get out to get them.
Oh. That's a great story. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks for letting me.
You betcha. If you're just joining us for Pet Chat, we break down the weekly news of Bunsen and Beaker. We field questions from our audience, and of course, people share their own pet stories. Before we go to Rich, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com. Up in the nest, you'll find a whole bunch of awesome tweets from them. Anything from joint supplements to deals on snacks and a contest to win a Mr. Tuffy dog, which is like a hot dog toy for pets. Just before I get to Rich, there was one that came in by DM, and it was from Cooper Newman. You got a question. He wants to know more about the best friends Moose and Goose. So yesterday on April Fools, we changed the account name to Moose and Goose instead of Bunsen and Beaker. And I think it definitely confused some people. I think we lost followers over it because they thought we got hacked. It was worth it in the end because it was a very wholesome joke. And people were very confused that we changed the account to Moose and Goose. And I actually changed the profile picture to one of our artworks from Bunsen and Beaker playing hockey against Moose and Goose. So that's where that came from. Okay, over to Baden/Rich.
It should have been Moose and Squirrel.
Moose and Squirrel, yeah.
Couple of things. As far as allergies go, our daughter-in-law is deathly allergic to cats, or was. When she started going out with our son, we have 3 cats. We have 3 slightly different cats now. She's got over it, and they rescued one of the cats off her farm. And that sort of leads me into Baden Dog's relationship with our 3 cats. And when we first got him, we had a different cat, and one of the cats was a different cat. And somehow he got in a tight space between 2 of the cats. And they took objection to this. One was on the sofa, while the other was on the ottoman. He was between them, and they just started pounding that poor cat with that poor dog with their paws. And he's looking so confused because he turned to look at one, and the other would whack at him, and vice versa. I wish I got it on video because it was quite funny. But we have 3 cats now. One, our youngest, is a rescue off our daughter-in-law's farm. When we first got him, he weighed 10.5 ounces and was hyperthermic and dehydrated and very expensive at the vet. And Baden Dog would actually curl up with him and keep him warm. And to this day, Gizmo, that's the smoky-colored cat, the young one, every so often he'll do the typical cat purr and rub his face along Baden's muzzle, which is not a dog behavior and confuses the heck out of Baden.
Yep.
So they get along fine. Our middle cat is a ginger rescue cat. He's the reason I'm not allowed to go to Pet Value by myself when they have Adopt a Day.
Oh my goodness, I get it.
Yeah, and Baden and him get along really quite well as well. Occasionally there'll be snuggles and all that, but they sort of give each other space. And then there's our oldest cat, who is a calico. A friend of my wife's calls her Crazy Daisy. Everybody else says she's cranky. We get along fine. If she is hungry and you walk by her in the kitchen, she will let you know that she's hungry. She will attack your feet. The thing with her is Baden is deathly afraid of her. In fact, it's so bad that if she's sitting halfway up the staircase, Baden will stand at the bottom of the stairs and whine for somebody to come and protect him from this vicious cat so he can come upstairs.
Oh.
It's really, really quite funny. I mean, she's this old cantankerous thing, weighs in at about 13. She's 13 years old. She weighs in at about 10 pounds. We were naughty and had to have her declawed because she was so vicious when we first got her. And he is deathly afraid of her. It's really quite funny.
Oh my goodness.
So those are the cat and dog stories I have.
Well, I'm hoping the dogs have a more of than your middle and your youngest relationship with cats than the cantankerous one. So,
yep. And if you check your personal Zed Science Twitter feed,
yeah, that's my human account, Zed Science. Yep.
Yeah, I shared a picture of our ginger cat sitting on top of me on the sofa, which I thought you might appreciate, considering one of the stories from earlier on.
Oh, there, I see it. Aw, that's cute. I love it.
He's 16 pounds, and when he does it when you're asleep, you wake up wondering why you can't get any oxygen into your lungs. And that's
Share it
not
to the nest, Jay.
Oh, well, I have to ask permission. Is that something you'd like me to put into the nest?
Anything I put on Twitter is fair game.
Okay, I'll throw it. It's into the nest now.
But the only other, this isn't pet related, but April is Autism Acceptance Month. And there is a lot of people who just go with awareness. But I think, disclaimer, my daughter's autistic. I think it's more important to accept them for who they are, accept what they can do, don't worry about what they can't do, and just enjoy what they bring into your life.
Well said. Thank you for talking about that.
I haven't figured out a good tweet for it yet.
It's okay. I'm just saying that we've got, I don't know, like 50 people here that heard it, so that's important. I know Telespark is changing that's the science center that we took Bunsen and Beaker to put on a podcast show and then do a meet and greet. They're changing their lights, I believe, for this whole week to the colors in support of autism awareness, autism acceptance. So I thought that was cool that Telespark was doing that. I know I saw them tweet that today.
Yep. Our daughter works for Sobeys, local grocery store, and they are super good with the special needs community. There's probably half a dozen employees there who are from the special needs community, and they're so good with them. It's awesome. It's really nice to see. Sorry, dragged you off topic. Anyway, my usual closing. Everybody take care, be kind to each other, and have a good week.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Rich. I really like that, how you phrased that, because it's important for awareness, but acceptance is also very, very important. I love that.
Thank you.
So we have Snickerdoodle and then Bentley.
I think Snickerdoodle already went, so we'll go to Bentley.
I must have missed that. I had to take Bunsen outside.
Okay.
Hello from Austin, Texas. Can you guys hear me?
We can.
Yes, we can.
Thank you. So the Twitter is actually Bentley Benson. That was our former dog who passed away in 2020, right when the pandemic hit. So his newly adopted, we say newly adopted because she will be with us almost 2 years this coming October, a miniature dachshund named Bo. But I do have a question for the group. We found out that she is actually pretty much an acrobat. So she climbs doggy gates. She can climb like a really high bed where she she almost kind of like hurdles, like she's running and then all of a sudden she hurdles and next thing you know, she's on top of the bed. And you're like, how did you even get up there? So we had to get, a dachshund ramp. But now her new thing is if we go to work working from home and sometimes working in the office, when she realizes that we're going to the office, she gets pup set. So when she gets pup set, when you come home, sometimes there are accidents on the bed. So primarily pee accidents on the bed. And so there's a lot of laundry that's being done. And I wanted to know if there's anybody in the group have any recommendations to prevent that from actually happening. We don't scold her because she was severely abused when we got her adopted. And so, like, for example, she won't go in the kitchen to eat until you sit down in the living room and pretend like you're eating so that she knows that it's okay for her to go and eat. So we're still working on that. So there's a lot of things like any sudden movement, she's really, really scared, but she's coming into her own personality. But now the thing is, please don't pee on the bed. And so we have a lot of layers and layers so it doesn't get to the mattress, but there's a lot of laundry being done for one little 9-pound dog. So I want to know if there anybody have any recommendations from preventing that from happening.
I can give you mine. And it's what our dog trainer always says is you have to limit access to the areas where the accidents are occurring. And I don't know if that's possible in your house. And then the second thing is that it's tough with an older dog. But crate training while you're away can keep the dog confined. And it's not there's evidence there's evidence to show that dogs learn to be crate trained and it's not harmful to them. And they don't like to go accident where they have a crate, like with their little cave. But you might have to work up to the crate training because that can be a procedure for an older dog that's never had to do it before, like a 2-year-old dog. So limit access and then think about crate training.
Okay. Thank you for the advice and recommendations. Is there any other thing as far as like washing the linens that will remove any of the odor? Like we use vinegar and we use like the urine destroyer and all that other stuff, but anything would be helpful.
Hi, I actually wanted to add on to what Jason said. Yes to limiting access. Yes to crate training. It's not cruel. You can do it at any age. Just start out slowly. Mm-hmm. And when you have an older rescue dog or a dog that's been traumatized, you don't want to be harsh with them. The word no matter how gently you try and say it, always comes out poorly. I use leave it. Instead of no, I use it for turning them not to take food they shouldn't have or don't steal the other dog's treat. But I use leave it more than no for everything. So maybe you could try that. Just changing the word can change the response of the dog.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And good luck.
Thank you.
It is tough when a dog has found an area that they stress pee in or they pee in. And I know where you're getting at, like just to remove the scent so they can't smell that they went there before. But there's other things at play for that area. So that's why I think we're just saying limiting access, just to take that place away from them. They're able to get to it.
Thank you.
It's a really good question. I don't know if anybody else has any other advice. We're not vets. We're just going off of what our experience with dogs are and our amazing trainer Shar has said to us. Because that's why we have a baby gate at the top of the stairs. And that was to limit when we got Bunsen as a puppy, Chris? It was to limit him from going downstairs because our previous golden occasionally would sneak downstairs and pee in the same spot. So we would make sure that when we weren't around, we limited the access to the basement for her.
That's not 100% true.
No,
we heard it. We heard that the burners aren't great on the stairs.
Oh yeah.
As a puppy, so that was one reason, but mainly for safety and for having a smaller space for a puppy. Mm-hmm. And it didn't matter because Bunsen still broke his toe walking on the grass. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. But that was our main goal, is for safety for Bunsen.
Rich, I see you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was more along the lines of baby gates. We have 2 that we use to keep Baden out of areas, and they actually have a little door in them so the cats can get in and out and the dog can't. And when he was little and still crawling, our grandson could fit through the cat gate as well. And the reason we did that, and this might be something you run into with Ginger, is some dogs view cat feces as really nice salty snacks.
Ew.
Yes, it's worse than moose legs.
I don't know.
So to keep them out of where the litter trays are, we have a gate there that has a cat hole. It has a cat gate in it, and it works really quite well.
All right, perfect.
Yeah. Jason, don't worry. I've thought of that already because that was on the list of, hey, what tips and tricks. So we have the cat litter box downstairs, but because we have the gate, then the dogs won't go down there.
That's right. They are perplexed that Ginger fits through the baby gate, though. Like every time they watch her go, and she like kind of goes, because their cats are like basically a slinky, right? They're like a soft slinky with like sharp bits on it. And they just watch her like go like through the crate, and Beaker is like, how the heck did she do that? Like you can just see like the computer running in her head. She just is flabbergasted that it fit through the baby gate.
She's bamboozled. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, Baden was quite worried when the grandson snuck through the gate. Like, how did you do that? I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on him.
Oh, yeah.
I think CJ Pixie wants to talk too, so I'll shut up again.
Gotcha. Okay, so we'll go to CJ Pixie and then to Paula, because Paula came up. So CJ.
Yeah, I just had a comment about cat litter. If you go to Home Depot and get a bag of pine pellets for a wood-burning stove, it's about $7 for like a 20-pound bag. And it's really good for cat litter to keep the smell down. It's completely biodegradable. And then if you have skunks living under your shed, you can dump the cat litter under the shed and the skunks will leave.
Pro tip to kill two birds with one stone.
I found it very economical.
That's right. Economical. Gotcha. Thanks. Okay, over to Paula. Hi, Paula.
Hi, how's everybody doing this evening?
We're good. Hope you're well, too.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm just going to say to Bentley, for taking out urine, there's a thing called Nature's Miracle. It's great for carpets. It's great for blankets. It's great for sheets. It just takes out urine smell. They might even make a laundry one. And there's also a Clorox urine remover. And another tip is doggy diapers, as bad as they sound, but sometimes when the seniors get really incontinent, I know the females, it does really help. And even though it might sound kind of cruel too, maybe limiting his water, it won't kill him, but maybe not before bedtime, because that will really help him not pee, because he won't get thirsty, but he'll be okay. But if you just before bedtime, maybe pick it up like an hour or two, that helps senior dogs. I know it helped with ours because we'd have incidents like that too. So I'm just, throwing some stuff out there, but that Nature's Miracle is great. I'm sure you can find it anywhere online and see if that'll help.
Great tips, everybody. Rich, do you have one more quick comment?
Yeah, a friend of mine has a senior dog which has incontinence problems, and she found the doggy diapers quite expensive, but if she bought the right size human diapers and cut an appropriate hole for the tail, they worked quite well.
I love it. Okay, Chris, do you have everybody's name in the wheel? Because it's about time to see who wins the prize tonight.
I sure do.
Okay, all right. So if you're still in the space, you're going to win a prize from our sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com.
So I click to spin, and then I check to make sure they're still in the space.
All right, that's
so it sometimes takes me a minute to
to see who wins.
They are still here. CJ Pixie Poodle.
Oh, CJ Pixie Poodle wins. Okay, so we'll... Congratulations.
Yay! Thank you.
All right, so we'll have our sponsor get in touch with you. That's great news. Okay, we've got Kim coming up. Before Kim speaks, the other thing I'm just going to announce is we over the last 3 weeks we've sent out a Google form for. Actually, we had a big response. Close to 100 people did the form about how we could improve our website. And that's questions like, what is the favorite thing what is your favorite thing on the website? What is your least favorite thing on the website? What do you think we could do to improve the website? And it was just a way to get feedback from people, because I'm not a website designer, and we want to make the experience better, but also highlight some of the stuff that people like and maybe start to phase out the stuff that people hate. And we did say that we would give a couple people a prize, something from the website, that's like a t-shirt or something. So I did the wheel that Chris did, and because we didn't ask for first or last names and they were emails only, I'm not going to read out, of course, the winning person's email. That is a big problem, to just shout out somebody's email or post it. But I'll tell you the names, and then I will email those people. So I don't know if you're in the space, but the email had Leanbog, and that was one of the winners, and Fermentum. So I don't know if you're in here, but those were the two, and there's other bits to their email address. And I will be contacting you in the next couple days, and we'll track down your prize from the website. And thank you to everybody who took the time to do the Google form, because we're really excited in the next couple weeks to change a bit of the interface and slowly start changing the website and offering some fun products, including, we're hopeful, the Bunsen 2.0 stuffy. Okay, so Kim, are you...
Where's your sound effect for that? You need a sound effect for woohoo!
Oh, I already used the applause thing, though. There we go. There it is again.
I should do my woo from Pictionary, and then you can put that in there.
Oh, here we go. I got one. I forgot I had the party horn. Okay.
Woo!
Okay, over to Kim. Kim, go ahead.
Hi, I'm a little late to the game tonight. I just managed to catch the part about diapers, and someone was saying that diapers can be expensive. Mm-hmm. They do make reusable ones. They're washable. The pug I had before Finn, we got her as a super senior. She was about 16 when we got her. Wow. And we only had her for about a year. And towards the end, she was incontinent. And they do make washable ones. So if cost is an issue and you're not sure about the disposable baby diapers, just another option. Mm-hmm. And that's the end of my sermon. Amen.
You just throw it in the...
Yeah, it's like regular laundry.
Yeah.
Yep. They're fabric, they're elastic, around the top. There's a little tail hole. The ones that I have are pink because she was female, but they do come in, different colors, different prints, different sizes. Maybe not Bunsen sized, but they're what is Bunsen sized? But they're washable and they're leak proof, and they're not terrific for fecal incontinence because obviously the anatomy, the bum hole and the tail hole are pretty close, but they're terrific for urinary incontinence.
That is an awesome.
They catch everything.
That's an awesome pro tip. Thank you, Kim. I so appreciate it.
No problem.
I see the herd wants back up, so we'll bring them up one more time. Yeah, Bunsen's big, and as you know, I've trained the dogs to wear different costumes, and I've just given up trying to find him doggy costumes. So he just gets people costumes, and I just cut a tail hole in them because he wears like a human extra large costume. The herd, go ahead.
Yeah, Owen, same. He's an XXL human, and I have cut tail holes in. But Phoenix being paralyzed, he is incontinent. He can hold his bowels, so I don't have that problem. But some of our friends have bought us these belly bands. It's a washable, reusable band. I put a disposable insert in it. They're super cheap. It's like 3 for $12, and they're great. I absolutely love them. Super helpful.
Thanks for the tip.
Yep.
We had a lot of great feedback from just one question. That's the good thing about these audio spaces is we can crowdsource problems from people's real life experiences. Well, as we wrap up the space, I just want to give just a quick plug for something that we've started, and it's been a ton of fun, and that is the Bunsen and Beaker private Twitter account. As Canadians, we don't have access to some of the things that other American accounts have, and one of those is super follows, a way that you could pay a really small monthly fee and then get premium content. We don't have access to that. So a way around that is I created a private Twitter account, and all of our patrons on Patreon have access to that. And it's been really fun because our patrons on Patreon, any tier, they get extra pictures every couple days, plus other perks depending on the tier that they support us at. And on the private account, it's super easy for me to put a whole bunch of like extra videos and behind the scenes stuff that doesn't go anywhere else. So it's a lot of extra content, like probably 3 or 4 times a day I'm posting. And also it's a little bit more saucy because it's not our main wholesome account. So there's some off the rails Beaker tweets that I've kept in my in my drafts folder that Chris has said, you cannot tweet that. So that goes on the private Twitter account. You can find our Patreon on our main profile. If you just click on us, it's, if you go to our actually, no, that's not where you can get it. Anyways, I'll throw a link up into the nest for that. I guess I should have been more organized for my own pitch. Just let me find it. Chris, do you have any final words while I find this tweet to put up in the nest?
I would just like to thank everybody for coming and everybody for sharing their story. And as you can hear, Bunsen, I don't know. He's a little bit toddler time right now. He wants to say goodbye to you all. He wants to say that he loves you. And he's like, where's the cat? Where's the cat? I've taken off my mic, so hopefully it's not too loud.
He's a little barky, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, I'll move. If I stand up, he doesn't bark anymore.
Yeah, he's just telling you to get your steps in, I guess.
Yeah, that's good. So thank you everybody for coming and for sharing your stories with us. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate the community that we're building together.
Yeah.
And sharing our stories about our pets. And thank you for sharing in our journey with Ginger, Operation Bring Ginger Home. Again, I'm cautiously optimistic, but Jason has always been a hard no about a cat. And so this is exciting that we actually have a cat in the building, in our house, living with us. So
it's pretty cute cat, Chris. Ginger's pretty cute.
I know. I saw her. I loved her. Immediately we had to have her. And usually I'm all about compromise and listening to your hard no, but I'm like, if there's a way we can work around your hard no, let's do it.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming to our space tonight. Thank you for being a speaker and also chiming in with, some crowdsourcing for the questions that come up. We really appreciate that. I have the link in the nest for the Patreon. If you want to sign up, any tier of support gets access to the private Twitter account, plus other stuff. Don't forget, we have our awesome sponsor, barkandbeyondsupply.com. They still have there's some tweets up in the nest from them, so you can check out their website. They got amazing stuff for dogs and cats. Our science space on Tuesday, man, Chris, I have guests. I have scientists booked into June. That's how many scientists want to come talk in our science spaces. It is incredible. I'm just blown away how excited scientists are to come talk in our science spaces.
I love that. I love that because it creates access for people and gets the word out about science, which I think is really, really important.
I can't, I have to actually tell people you got to wait because it's so far in the future. Our guest on Tuesday is Dr. Lacey Brock, who's an astrophysicist. She has an awesome TikTok account. She's a gamer. So, Chris, maybe we can talk Elden Ring with our guest on Tuesday.
If she's playing that, she has no time for astrophysicists.
Okay, I only play Elden Ring a couple times a week. Anyways, thank you so much for coming to our space tonight. Please keep your ear to the ground and check out and listen for our ads or whatever, our reminders for our science space on Tuesday. We're going to talk about space. I could talk about space all day long, Chris. Space is in space. It's really meta.
I know. I have a student who, I digress, but I talked to him about space probably for 20 minutes when he came onto my Google Meet. And it wasn't even about his question. Well, we were calculating parts per million, and then I talked about space. And I just was like, could not stop talking.
All right. Take care, everybody. We'll hope to see you on Tuesday. I might head over to the Wisdom app tonight. It's this new social audio thing. I'll post a link if I do. And if you have time, pop over. Wisdom's like this new social audio site. Okay, take care, everybody. For science, empathy, and cuteness. Space ending in 3, 2, 1.